None of the Mughals. So here, with the administration of Delhi Sultan, I think before going to the Mughals, we will go to the Delhi Sultanate. Can you say me what are the result of the first battle of Panipat? What are the result of the first battle of Panipat? Already we have been studied it. While studying about the Delhi Sultanate, we have been studied. What are the result of first battle of Panipat? Myself, I have been said. What are the result of first battle of Panipat? Yes, Vaishnavi,
Yes, sir.
can you say what are the result of the first battle of Panipat?
Sir, end of Delhi Sultanate and beginning of Mughal rule.
So end of Delhi Sultanate and the beginning of the Mughal rule in India. So the result of the first battle of Panipat, the result of the first battle of Panipat. Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi. Ibrahim Lodi was killed in the battlefield, and Babur was victorious, and it was the end of the Delhi Sultanate, and it was the beginning of the Mughals. It was the beginning of the Mughals. It was the beginning of the Mughals. Mughal, or we can say it was the beginning of the Mughal rule in India. So these are the results of the first battle of Panipat. So today we are going to study regarding the Mughals. Today we are going to study regarding the Mughals. The rule of Mughals in India. The rule of Mughals in India from 1526 to 1707. The rule of Mughals in India from 1526 to 1707. From 1526 to 1707. The rule of the Mughals in India from 1526 to 1707. 1707. So you may say that, but they have been ruled till the 1800. They have been ruled to the 1800. But why it is been given from 1526 to 17? From 1526 to 1707. So the Mughal dynasty was powerful. They ruled with the vigorously. They ruled over the India from 1526 to 1707. But after 1707, they were not a capable rulers. The dynasty which has been extended, it started to sink a little. It started to sink after 1707. After 1707. So here in the Mughals, the important rulers in the Mughals are Babur, Humayun, Akbar, Shah Jahan, and Aurangzeb. Till Aurangzeb, the Mughal dynasty was powerful. But after Aurangzeb, the dynasty started to sink. And in the history of India, only after the name of the two kings, the great is united. Akbar the Great. Akbar the Great and the Ashoka the Great. So Akbar is the member of the Mughal dynasty. Akbar is the member of the Mughal. So first, we will study regarding the Babur. Started the rule in India. Who started the rule in India? Babur. Babur. So Babur, who established the Mughal rule in India in the year 1526, he was originally from the Turkestan. He was originally from the Turkestan. His father was Umar Sheikh Mirza. His father was Umar Sheikh Mirza, and he was a king of the very small kingdom. He was a king of the very small kingdom called Fargana in Afghanistan. Fargana in Afghanistan. Fargana in Afghanistan. Due to the death of his father, Babur had to ascend the throne at the very small age, at the age of 11. At the age of 11, at the playing age itself, he has to ascend the throne. At the age of 11, he ascended the throne. He had to lose his kingship due to the conspiracy of his relatives. So, he has to lose the kingship. A conspiracy made by his own relatives itself. So afterwards, he was leading a nomadic life. Afterwards, he was leading a nomadic life. At the same time, he was invited by the Daulat Khan, the governor of Punjab, invited Babur to invade India. At that time, Delhi Sultanate were ruling over the Delhi, and Lodi dynasty was ruling at that time. And Ibrahim Lodi was the king. So Babur attacked India in the 1526. So there was a furious battle between the Babur and Ibrahim Lodi, and that battle is been called as the first battle of Panipat. Ibrahim Lodi was been defeated in the first battle of Panipat. Rest is the history. It is a era of Mughals. So it's the beginning of the Mughal rule in India. So here, Babur established Mughal rule in India in the year 1526 through the first battle of Panipat. So Delhi was his capital. Over the period of 4 years, he defeated the Rana Sangram Singh of Mewar, Rajput king Medini Raya of Chanderi, Ibrahim Lodi's brother, Muhammad Lodi. Babur conquered Panipat, Dogra, Kandwa, and established the rule over the large area of the North India. From Punjab to Bengal, and from the Deccan Plateau to somewhat Kashmir in the early. But he only ruled for 4 years. In 1530, he died. Afterwards, his son Humayun came to the power. So Humayun, the second son, Humayun, the second king of Mughal dynasty, was the eldest son of Babur. He has to face many tough problems when he came to the power in 1530. Such problems were unstable and dispersed kingdom. So means here unstable and dispersed the kingdom itself. The trouble from the Afghans, enmity of the Badur Shah of Gujarat, the hostility of his own brothers. In that, he conquered the Kalinjar Fort, Dora, Jaunpur, Chunar Fort, and Madsan. Humayun, who was defeated by Sher Shah. So here, Humayun, who was defeated by Sher Shah. So here comes the another important ruler, Sher Shah. Another important ruler, Sher Shah. So here, Humayun was defeated by Sher Shah, sought shelter in the Sindh provinces, and came back to power after the death of Sher Shah. So now you may think that Babur's son Humayun. So Humayun's son is Akbar, not Sher Shah. So Sher Shah doesn't belong to the Mughal dynasty. He is Afghan leader. He is Afghan leader. So here, Babur lost to Sher Shah in the year 1540. Humayun rule started from 1530 to 1530. Humayun's rule started from 1530 to 1540. It is the first period of the Humayun's rule. From 1530 to 1540 is the first period of the Humayun's rule. Afterwards, till 1545. So till from 1540 to 1545, Sher Shah ruled over the Delhi throne. So here, Sher Shah ruled over the Delhi throne, but here, Humayun's period has been divided. Into two. So I'll say it later. So here, Sher Shah. So Humayun was been defeated. Humayun escaped from Sher Shah and led the nomadic life. So now it is a regime of Sher Shah. Now it is the regime of Sher Shah. So Sher Shah doesn't belongs to the Mughal dynasty. Sher Shah doesn't belong to the Mughal dynasty. So Sher Shah. So the original name of Sher Shah was Farid. Original name of Sher Shah was Farid. He was the founder of the Sur dynasty. Sher Shah was the founder of the Sur dynasty. Sher Shah was the founder of the Sur dynasty. So his childhood was not happy. His childhood was not happy. Deprived from parents' love. He wandered about for some years. He wandered about for some years. When he was working under the Bahar Khan Lohani, when he was working under the Bahar Khan Lohani, the king of South Bihar, he killed a tiger single-handed. So Sher Shah, he was Afghan leader. He was working under the king called Bahar Khan Lohani, who was the king of South Bihar. When he was working under the Bahar Khan Lohani, he had killed a tiger single-handed. So, and thus he had earned the title Sher Shah. He had killed a tiger single-handedly. For that, he had earned the title Sher Shah. So his original name is Farid. He had earned the title Sher Khan. Later he was known as Sher Shah. So when Babur took over the administration of India, Sher Shah worked under him and played a significant role. When Babur had invaded India, so Sher Shah had worked under him and he had played a very significant role in conquering the Delhi throne. So Sher Shah defeated Humayun and took control over the Punjab, Sindh, Multan, Gwalior, Malwa, Raising Durg, Mewar and Kalinga. His empire had extended in the entire North India except Assam, Gujarat and Kashmir. Sher Shah's empire has been extended in North India except Assam, Gujarat and Kashmir. So Sher Shah was a very intelligent ruler and he had a very systematic administrative system. What the administrative system was been implemented by Sher Shah, so that was been continued by the Akbar. So here, Sher Shah's administrative system. Sher Shah gave importance towards the strengthening the administrative structure. He was the ultimate head of the administration. He ran administration with the help of the Council of Ministers. Both the civil, military power were in the hands of the king itself. Civil and the military power were in the hands of the king itself. The entire kingdom was divided into sarkars. How today it is being divided as the state, district, taluk. In the same way, during the Sher Shah, the entire kingdom was divided into sarkars and parganas. State, district, like that. So entire kingdom was divided into sarkars, then into parganas. And the last unit was the village. Cavalry, infantry, elephant divisions were in the army. Among these, cavalry was powerful. Ashwadana was very powerful. In order to bring discipline among the soldiers, he started attendance for soldiers and stamping of horse. To bring discipline, he started attendance of soldiers and he brought this stamping system, dark system. Stamping of horse. Army was divided into small units. Called Fauj with the head of the Faujars. Army was divided into small units called Fauj with the head of the Faujjar and its head. So today how the army is being divided. The same system. Sher Shah took personal interest in organizing and supervising the army. He got all the cultivable land measured and fixed the land tax. First time, a unique land tax system was brought by Sher Shah himself. Measured all the cultivable land, and brought a land tax. A proper land taxation system was been brought for the first time. So he divided the land into 3 types. Fertile, good, and average and low. Means the land was been divided according to fertility. The land was been divided good, average and low. Good, average and low. So farmers had to pay 1/3 of the harvest crop as a tax. The farmers has to pay 1/3 as the harvest crops. Farmers has to pay 1/3 of the harvest crop. So Sher Shah was known for his the impartial justice. Sher Shah was known for his impartial justice. Hence, he had earned the title Sultan of Fair Justice. Hence, Sher Shah had earned the title Sultan of Fair Justice. Sultan of Fair Justice. The Sultan was highest judge in the kingdom. He decided all the final appeals. He conducted his court every Wednesday evening. He conducted his court every Wednesday evening. Sher Shah brought a new silver coin called Dam into circulation. Sher Shah brought a new silver coin, Dam into circulation. This coin was weighted 180 liquor seeds. So 180 liquor is a very low hand. I can say that 180 liquor seed. So it was soft. It was not too weight. All the other Mughal kings continued the practice. All the other Mughal kings continued the administrative system of Sher Shah. Even Akbar itself. On the other side, highways, shade-giving trees were planted. 1,700 shelters for relaxation for the travelers were constructed. And today, we are having the highways. So that highway was been first time it was been brought by the in the Mughal. First time it was been brought by the Mughals during the Mughal rule by the Sher Shah itself. So from a proper highway was been Delhi to Lahore. The route was called Sadak-e-Azam, Agra to Berhampur, Agra to Chittor, Lahore to Multan. Certain highways were being constructed by the Sher Shah itself. But Sher Shah died. Sher Shah died in 1545. Sher Shah died due to the bomb explosion. Sher Shah died. So after Sher Shah, who ascended the throne, they were weak and they were not capable. Humayun reconquered Delhi. Humayun reconquered Delhi. Remember this thing. Humayun reconquered Delhi. So Humayun reconquered Delhi, and after 2 years, Humayun reconquered Delhi, but after 2 years he died. After 2 years he died. So next, it is a regime of one of the greatest king of India. We can say Akbar the Great. Again, it's the Mughal rule itself. After Humayun, it was Akbar. It was Akbar. The most famous Mughal king. Akbar was born at Amarkot in Sindh. When Humayun was leading a nomadic life, at that time Akbar was born. In the year 1542. Akbar was born. In the year 1542. Where he was born? He was born in the Amarkot in the Sindh provinces. Humayun was his father. When Akbar assumed the power, he was only 14 years old. When Akbar assumed the power, he was only 14 years old. So what is the age of yours? I think 14 to 15, some 14, some 15. At your age, he had ascended the throne. So after the death of Humayun, Hemu, the military general of Bengal, King Muhammad Shah Abdali, opposed and conquered the Delhi and Agra. So here comes one of the important person. Him. So when Humayun died, Akbar had ascended the throne, but it was being stiffly resisted by him. He was the army general or army commander of the Muhammad Shah Abdali. So Bengal King Muhammad Shah Abdali. So Bengal King, who was the Bengal King? Muhammad Shah Abdali. So Muhammad Shah Abdali's commander, him, conquered Delhi. Conquered Delhi. After the death of Humayun, he conquered Delhi and Agra. He conquered Delhi and Agra. So this led to a terrifying battle between Hemu and Akbar. Between Hemu and Akbar. And that battle is been called as the second battle of Panipat. That battle has been called as the second battle of Panipat. The second, so in the first battle of Panipat, it has been fought between. The first battle of Panipat, it was fought between. So I need answer, guys, in the message. The first battle of Panipat was fought between. The first battle of Panipat was fought between. So Ibrahim Lodi and Babur. That's very good. The first battle of Panipat was fought between Ibrahim Lodi and Babur. The second battle of Panipat is fought between. Second battle of Panipat was fought between Akbar and Hemu. So Hemu is the only Hindu king. Remember, Hemu is the only Hindu king who sat on the Delhi throne. Hemu is the only Hindu king who sat on the Delhi throne. Who is the only lady who sat on the Delhi throne? Who is the only lady who sat on the Delhi throne? Who is the only lady who sat on the Delhi throne? Razia Sultan. Razia Begum or Razia Sultan. Razia Sultan. So Hemu is the only Hindu king who sat on the Delhi throne. So Hemu is the only Hindu king. So he conquered Delhi and Agra. He started to rule. Very next, there was a battle between the Akbar and Hemu. So that is being called as the second battle of Panipat. That is being called as the second battle of Panipat. So this was when the Akbar emerged victorious in the battle. So Akbar emerged victorious. Behram Khan. So Akbar emerged victorious. So here Akbar's commander or Akbar's prime minister Behram Khan was a royal representative. So he led the army. So he captured Hemu and he killed Hemu in the battlefield. It has been said that the Hemu's head was been cut off. Hemu's head was been cut off by the Behram Khan. Akbar was not interested to kill him, but Behram Khan did that work. He just cut off the head of the Hemu. So here, with the help of the mighty army, so Akbar's regime over the India. With the help of the mighty army, Akbar conquered Malwa, Jaipur, Gondamana, Chittor, Ranthambore, Kalinjar, Gujarat and Bengal. So I think you have been witnessed the film Jodha Akbar. Most of you have been witnessed the film Jodha. So in that you can see how Akbar has been conquered. Not all the battles have been fought. To war itself. Some by the mutual understanding. Some the Rajputs. They surrendered themselves to protect their kingdom. Some with the matrimonial relationship. Jodha's marriage towards the Akbar. Matrimonial relationship. So like that. Akbar had many wives. Remember this thing. So many of the wives through the matrimonial relationship itself. So many of the kingdom have been conquered through the matrimonial relationship with the mighty army has been conquered. So here, after the death, so Battle of Haldighati is the most significant battle in the medieval India itself. Even Akbar could not capture Haldighati. One after the another. They have been giving a stiff resistance towards the Akbar. So here, after the death of Chittor king Rana Uday Singh, his son Rana Pratap Singh came to the power. Akbar sent a powerful army under the leadership of the General Man Singh and Ashraf Khan to fight against the Rana Pratap. In the battle at the Haldighati, the Mughal army was victorious. The remaining states of the Kashmir, Sindh, Orissa, Baluchistan, Kandahar, Ahmednagar came under the Akbar's rule easily. Thus, he led the foundation for the Mughal to emerge as the powerful kingdom in the medieval India. So, like this, Akbar led a firm foundation to rule. He came in the dream to rule over the whole India. With these battles, he led the firm foundation for the Mughal rule in India. Means Babur and Hemu, they could not extend the empire. Babur and Humayun could not extend the empire, but Akbar extended the empire in all the direction. Akbar extended the empire in all the direction. So this is regarding the Akbar. This is regarding the Akbar. So rest. Now the meeting will end within 2 to 5 minutes. So rest from the Akbar's religious policy. We'll stay in the next class. We'll see in the next class. Whatever I have been said, only that much is no need to going in the depth. So that concept is very